This story takes place during the Second World War. Yosef's father is the rabbi of a small village in Eastern Europe where many assimilated Jews live. Well, one of the villagers is called Moshe the tailor. One day Moshe's father passes, and once the week of mourning starts, the bereaved Moshe becomes more receptive to religion. The community's rabbi comes to visit him, persuades him to recite the Kaddish, and convinces him to come to synagogue after the week of mourning ends to say Kaddish. We know that a Jew, even if he's far away from the master of the world, is particularly sensitive to give tribute to his parents after their passing. Now Moshe the tailor comes to shul, and as the Rav comforts him, he gradually starts dedicating more time to Torah and mitzvot. Moshe the tailor becomes quite respected and serves as an example for the entire village. If someone speaks during Kaddish, Moshe rebukes him. If someone doesn't pray properly, Moshe corrects him. If something is not done according to the rules, Moshe, either in a pleasant or aggressive manner, reprimands everyone at fault. Then one day, the Nazis appear in the city in the middle of the war, brutally murdering local families. Miraculously, Yosef, the rabbi's son, survives. But he's very sick and transferred to Switzerland. He ends up in a convalescent home located at the top of a mountain. Yosef is not feeling well at all and takes no interest in what is going on around him. Eventually, one Shabbat, he starts feeling better. As he feels better, he suddenly has the urge to light up a cigarette. Now, throughout the war, those Jews who survived never saw any Jew wearing Jewish garments. Neither did they see a Jewish community or experience a Jewish life in any form. Now, when the war ended, they knew that they had nowhere to go back to. They knew that no country welcomed them, and they were left wanting for support and lacking motivation. Given the hardships they suffered through, however, those who survived the atrocities of the Second World War should not be judged for the decisions they made in the wake of the war. The convalescent home Yosef stayed in was entirely devoid of anything Jewish that may have otherwise inspired him to connect back to his roots. Kiddush was never made, and a kippah was unlikely to be found anywhere. And so on this particular Shabbat morning, Yosef feels a sudden need to smoke a cigarette. He eventually gives in to his evil inclination and starts smoking. One thing leads to another, and he lights a second cigarette. The resting house is connected to a small city in the valley by a train which reaches the little shops located at its bottom and the city's town. Completely given to his evil inclination, Yosef further transgresses Shabbat by going on a train and traveling towards that small village. He reaches the bottom, looks through the train's window, and recognizes a man standing in the market. None other than Moshe the tailor. Now Moshe the tailor stands and looks at him. Moshe is at the market when he suddenly recognizes Yosef, the rabbi's son, traveling on a train and smoking a cigarette on Shabbat. Yosef is filled with fear and remembers with Moshe the tailor, there's no compromise. He will scream at me. He immediately throws away his cigarette, and at the first opportunity he has, gets off the train, walks back home by foot, and vows to never break Shabbat again. Years later, Yosef meets Rabbi Shalom in England and tells him the entire story. Rabbi Shalom Shwadron asks him, "Tell me, my friend, did you ever see Moshe the tailor again?" But Yosef never saw him again. Rabbi Shalom asks him the following question. Well, logically speaking, is it possible that Moshe the tailor survived the war? Yosef is surprised. He suddenly becomes white and answers, "I never thought about it. No, there's no chance. Moshe the tailor was my father's age. They killed elderly people first, and even if they didn't kill him right away, there's no chance that he survived the war." Well, Rabbi Shalom then asks him, "Then tell me, what was he doing at the market on Shabbat?" "I don't know. I didn't think about it," answers Yosef, distraught by the situation. Rabbi Shalom then tells him, "Let me explain. It is written, every person which grants merit to the collective is not tempted by the evil inclination. And your father is the one who had brought Moshe the tailor back to Torah and mitzvot. Now from heaven, he, your father, sees you, his son, deteriorating, and we can only imagine how hard that must be for him. This is why this Baal Tshuva is sent from Gan Eden to save the son of the man who helped him to repent." Shabbat Shalom.